Here we have the current stock market analysis for Sirius XM Incorporated, stock ticker SIRI. Before we begin with this chart analysis, if you find these educational materials to be helpful in your trading, please remember to click the like and subscribe buttons and leave your thoughts in the comments section below so that other traders will be able to find this information more easily on the platform. So here we have the 1 hour price chart, and we can see that share prices have started to stabilize a bit at somewhat mid levels. Currently, what we're looking at here is some fairly significant price action after a major long-term decline in this stock. So what we will be looking to assess will be whether or not share prices at the moment represent a good buying opportunity for anybody interested in purchasing shares of SIRI. So as we can see, currently the near-term price low comes in at $2.45. This is a relatively massive price difference relative to what was seen earlier in the stock's history. But more recently, we have seen share prices sort of spike higher above the $4 mark. As this has occurred, we have seen share prices develop a bit of a triple top resistance zone that can be seen with these price levels here. So essentially, we have one top, two top, a bit of a lower top, and then the third top. So here we can see a succession of three price resistance zones, three tops essentially in share price action, which have managed to maintain stock prices for at least for the near term. So the real question here is whether or not this level is going to be breaking anytime in the near future. One thing that we can point to in this price chart would be the fact that share prices have seen a fairly steep decline more recently. Essentially, we have fallen from right around this $4 mark, just above $4, to generate price lows coming in at $2.87. Overall, this price move to the downside is quite significant because what this tells us is that the share price itself has managed to break through the 23.6, 38.2, and 61.8% Fibonacci retracements. Most recently, this Fibonacci support break came right around the $3.11 mark. As we can see here, this light green sort of zone here toward the midpoint of the chart. And as we can see, this really doesn't leave much in the way to be seen in terms of support zones until we now reach the 78.6% Fibonacci retracement that rests just above the $2.82 level. Currently, we have seen a little bit of a price test in this region. We did see share prices fall to 287 before bouncing a bit here. So we could say that the share price itself did manage to find some support in anticipation of this 78.6% Fibonacci retracement. This would be significant if this level manages to hold. However, we're starting to see a bit of a choppy trading condition here after the stock managed to post near-term price highs coming in at $3.64. So, the real question here is whether or not, the shorter-term range that has started to develop, whether or not this is going to hold or break to the top side. So essentially, we have a trading range that looks somewhat like this, with the price lows and then the price highs. So as we can see here, the share price itself is starting to sort of oscillate right around the exponential moving average cluster. Currently, this alone is not giving us very much information. We did see some short-term breaks here, convincing breaks to the top side in terms of price distance above the exponential moving average cluster. However, share prices did reverse here quite quickly, and this does sort of tell us that we saw a bit of a false breakout here to the top side. So for these reasons, the $3.64 resistance zone is going to be quite important for this stock because if we do see a break back above here, this would suggest that this price movement to the top side relative to the exponential moving average cluster was not initially a false breakout. To the downside, the main level of support is currently found right around 290. As I said previously, we did see ultimate price lows coming in at 287. We have seen this price zone tested a bit more near term, and share prices didn't exactly fall to those same lows. So that is a little bit encouraging on a shorter term basis. But we will really need to see that level remain intact in order to suggest that further upside in this stock might be possible. Looking into the indicator reading on the bottom of this price chart, we can see the relative strength index that is shown in purple with this oscillating price movement here. And then the yellow line would be the the exponential moving average of the relative strength index. So currently what we can see here is a bit of a symmetrical triangle formation. Longer term, what we are looking at here is a trend of negative momentum. So here we can see this price trend here is sort of forcing price lower. And this does sort of fall in line with the prior outlook for that $4.15 zone, which I explained marks a current triple top resistance zone. So as we can see currently, the main influential price trend that is controlling market activity here is currently focused on the downside. Ultimately, what we would need to see here is for this shorter term uptrend to continue to move higher in order to sort of break through that prior downtrend in share price momentum. So overall, this uptrend has been tested on more occasions than the downtrend. However, the downtrend is longer term in nature, so this does sort of supersede, the outlook here, and it does suggest that on balance, the evidence does point to negative trend momentum rather than positive trend momentum. If we were to see share prices break below this shorter term line here, this shorter term trend line in the relative strength index, this would suggest that the longer term negative trend momentum is confirmed, that we should expect to see further price movements to the downside before considering long positions in this stock. Of course, we're not quite there yet. The relative strength index reading is right around the midpoint of the histogram. So currently we're looking at a relative strength index rating right around 5150. So, we have not yet seen this uptrend break, but we are somewhat close here given the fact that this rising trend line is currently moving into the region that is right around the 42 mark for the relative strength index. So as we can see here, there are some price levels that need to be watched here. We're seeing a bit of a short-term range that is starting to develop, but overall, the major price movements have been in the downside direction following this initial price move higher. I do think that some people probably got into long positions on this surging price movement, but what needs to be understood is that we've nearly retraced 75% of that price move, so that initial upsurge might not seem as significant as it did initially. So here's the current market update for Sirius XM Holdings Incorporated, stock ticker SIRI. Our high-value trading strategies membership is currently available for a limited time for only $9.99 per month. These high-conviction investment strategies are characterized by superior risk-to-reward metrics that target massive, market-beating returns over time. Join now to outperform the market, lock in this special introductory rate of just $9.99 per month for the entire lifetime of your membership, and start trading stocks with the pros.